Prime Time Local News, serving the Lakeland and Midwest regions.
Well, happy Thursday, everybody. I almost said happy Friday because It feels a lot like Friday right now. Welcome to another edition of Primetime Local News. Connor Chan and Abby St. John here. Lots of great local stories we have on the go in just a bit here, including our question of the day. It's a little bit of a thinker. Would you rather regret doing something or regret not doing that?
Like I said before, I've never really been the type of person to regret anything. You know, I've obviously made some dumb decisions and stuff that I shouldn't have done. I learned from it, but I don't necessarily regret it because at the end of the day, I did do it and I can't change that.
Yeah, of course, a lot of people have different opinions, and we'll get to some of those answers and talk a little bit more about that later on in the show. But right now, let's send over to Eric Bay, who is on location today.
Thanks, guys. Well, today we were at the Fight Farm, which is one of the locations where you can purchase pre-sale tickets for Monster Pro Wrestling. They're holding their event tomorrow night right here at Rolling Greens in Lloydminster. And as you just saw there, Mitch Clark, who used to fight in the UFC, will be going there tomorrow night as well, doing some wrestling. So we are going to have more coming up about what you can expect from an event, first time they have been here, and also how you can get some tickets and go and enjoy a good night of wrestling. So we're going to have some more coming back from here. But first we'll go back to Abby, who has a look at your local news.
For the first time ever, some parts of the mayoral duties were auctioned off for charity, and that included heading down to PWM Steel for a different type of workday. Our Jasmine King has more on the day.
Mayor Gerald Albers was auctioned off as a part of the Treasures, Time and Talent campaign, which helps support the Lloydminster Youth Centre. He spent 4 hours at PWM Steel yesterday learning about all the different things that go on in the junkyard.
I've spent this afternoon out here at PWM. Had the opportunity to spend some time with Paul's drivers. We were out picking up bins of scrap, steel and metal, and then had some time here at the processing facility and had a chance to learn about the steel, the aluminum, the copper, all the different materials that are gathered here at PWM.
When the mayor was purchased by PMW Steel's owner, he wanted to be able to show him what they do on a daily basis.
I bought the mayor for 4 hours, hopefully to educate him a bit on the recycling part, and with the youth center they could come down here and educate them on some of the equipment and what it takes to do a proper job in recycling.
As the donations went towards the youth center, a few kids from the center got to come out and see the work Mayor Albers was doing, as well as getting a tour and learning about the facility.
I think, they're teenagers, and it's an exciting trip out, I guess, from the youth center, but it was a learning opportunity as well. And when they understood that this was a community member and the mayor of Lloydminster wanting to get behind the cause of the youth center, they felt pretty special, and you could see that in their faces when they understood that.
Knowing that this event was for a good cause for the youth of Lloydminster, Mayor Albers didn't mind volunteering his time.
Lloyd Youth Centre provides a great experience for the youth behind us and others, and I really appreciate people like PWM Steel stepping forward and buying my services. And I know there was a lot of other people that helped fundraise to keep the Lloyd Youth Centre going, and it's an important part of our community. The youth are our future, and if we can help them as they grow up, it's an excellent opportunity.
Jasmine King, Primetime Local News.
Local charities here in our community are getting a financial boost thanks to a program brought to the city by a young boy. Jordy Horgan is doing his part to drive positive change in the community by getting other youth involved. Our Josh Ryan reports.
Not your traditional 14-year-old kid. After learning about a program his friend was a part of in Calgary, Jordy wanted to bring a similar one to Lloydminster with the hope to impact change and encourage other youth to do the same.
I've always felt like I wanted to do more in the community, so this is what I'm doing. We originally started up the 100 Women's Who Care just to see how it all works and then to modify anything. And then after, I think, 2 years, if I remember correctly, we got this group started up.
100 Plus Youth Who Care is an event that invites youth age 5 to 17 to listen to pitches from 3 different local charities. Then the youth vote on who they think should receive the sum of all $10 donations from those in attendance, and the charity with the most votes takes home the pot. Something Jordy's mom, Janice, thinks speaks volumes about the kids.
They could spend their money on something else if it's their own hard-earned money, but they chose to donate it back into the community, which is incredible.
The 3 charities vying for the donations at Wednesday's event were Project Sunrise, Mothers First, and the Lloydminster Public Library. After all votes were tallied, it was Project Sunrise who was rewarded the money, totaling $495.
You know, it's so great to actually have youth out and be invested in their community and realizing that there's something bigger than themselves. So choosing Project Sunrise this evening, it's a little bit hard explaining to kids exactly what a mental health initiative is, but I tried to do my best, and obviously it paid off.
For Jordy, to see a charity centered around mental health like Project Sunrise take home the pot hits close to home.
That feels amazing, considering I've struggled with mental illnesses myself, and so it feels good giving back to the community in any way, let alone with Project Sunrise.
Project Sunrise was the second charity to receive money through the Lloydminster 100+ Youth Who Care initiative, and another event is set to take place later in October. Josh Park, Primetime Local News.
With nearly 1 in 2 Canadians expected to be diagnosed with cancer in their lifetime, cancer affects us all. Relay for Life is a chance to show those affected by cancer in our communities that they're not alone. Our Tegan Gieselbrecht has the story.
Relay for Life is an event where people walk, jog, or run while trying to raise money for cancer research. The relay has been in Canada for 20 years.
It's such a good event. You can see how many people talking to other people that have been affected in the same way. It's a community type event. It brings the people who've been affected by cancer, that community, together, and it's a good event to experience that, even just to come and see. It helps make you feel like you're not alone.
One community member who is feeling the support is Shauna Weinkoff. She was diagnosed with acute lymphoblastic leukemia at the age of 4. After 3 years of chemotherapy, she is now in remission.
When I was in high school, grade 12, I had a team of my own in Saskatoon with a bunch of friends. And since then, I've done a handful of survivor walks. And I think that it's a really great cause to raise awareness and help raise funds towards cancer research, which it is never ending. You can always find out more.
The relay raises money for the Canadian Cancer Society. The act of gathering funds for cancer research is something Shauna believes is needed.
There are obviously a broad spectrum of different types of cancer, a lot that people don't even know about. So raising funds, there's endless amounts of research, whether it is towards laboratory stuff or finding, one day hopefully a cure for any of the types of cancer other than, just the chemotherapy and the radiation that people have to go through. I think raising funds is very important.
If you are interested in taking part in Relay for Life, you're still able to sign up.
Go on to relayforlife.ca, sign up under Lloydminster, either as a survivor, a volunteer, or a participant. It's definitely not too late, even if Relay is just over a week away. It's not too late at all to sign up for any of that type of stuff.
The event takes place on May 31st at Bud Miller Park. Tegan Gieselbrecht, Primetime Local News.
Walking on Water is attempting to bring a small-town business feel to Lloydminster. Eric Bay has more on the local toy store that's finding ways to be different in this week's BioClean Business Bio.
Walking on Water tries to separate itself from larger businesses by being unique, including operating their store in a house.
To start off small, I think that was key for me too, to start small and grow small, to like financially as well, like as a small business, it's a lot to take on that kind of overhead. So yeah, being unique, it definitely, we're unique because we're in this house, yeah.
Part of the reason for choosing a house was to create a small town experience for customers.
I wanted to bring that experience of a small town business to Lloydminster. With growing up in it, for me, retail is an experience. It's something that when you go to the store, it's more than just buying it. It's meeting the owner. It's getting to know the staff. It's just the experience and what the small business can offer you when you come in.
Walking on Water offers games for children, but also games that adults will remember from their youth and enjoy as well.
Games for the whole family, not just kids games, or lots of crafts, but I also tried to bring in like things that were like unique, so toys that I remember as a kid, so it's something that like your parents may have played with, or so something that's trending today, but also that we remember that we played with as a kid.
Walking on Water is located on 46th Street across from the Family Medical Clinic. And that's this week's BioClean Business Bio.
Business Bio, brought to you by BioClean. Call the Bio Team, 1-833-246-8326. The Disaster Specialists.
And now we're going to take a look at your stock market prices for today.
We restore more than just property. We restore hope. When disaster strikes, call the one that can make it right. First General Services, your property restoration experts.
And now we're going to Eric Bay, who was on location today.
Well, today we are here talking about Monster Pro Wrestling. They're holding an event coming up here in Lloydminster tomorrow. And Garrett Tepper joins me now, and you are in charge of doing a little bit of promotion for the event. So can you maybe first just tell us a little bit about what will be going on here tomorrow?
Okay, yeah. Basically, there's 2 title fights. There's a heavyweight championship fight, and there's a women's, I believe it's cruiserweight championship fight. Kind of the marquee, the big draw for most people in this area is the fact that the main event is ex-UFC fighter and ex-Lloydminster resident Mitch Clark will be here. So that's definitely the highlight for us and for most of Lloydminster.
And now if people are looking to get tickets to go to the event, how can they do so?
There's 3 ways. The old traditional way is either through us here at the Fight Farm. Okay, tickets are $15 or at Grinding Gears over on, I believe it's 50th, is it? Okay. Yeah, I don't remember exactly what it is, but Grinding Gears or at the door as well. So at the door, they're $20 instead of the $15.
Okay, perfect. And then I guess just people, if they are going for it at the doors, what time do doors open and when does the show actually start tomorrow?
The show starts at 7:30, doors open at 6:30, so it is carnival seating. I don't think any seat in the house is a bad seat, but nonetheless, if you want to get close up and really feel the action, get there maybe a little bit earlier. So.
And you mentioned big draw, kind of Mitch Clark from here is going to be there, and he works at your gym actually. So what are you expecting from him tomorrow? Yeah,
Mitch is he's our Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu coach, so we anticipate him putting on a good show, and he's always a crowd pleaser, and you never know what to expect for sure.
All right, perfect. Thanks. We'll have a little bit more back from here about Monster Pro Wrestling, but first we'll go back into the studio.
All right, thanks very much, Eric. Taking a look at current temperature now, getting cloudier right now at 21 degrees still for our daytime high right now. Wind still coming in from the south-southwest there at 8 kilometers an hour. Some temperatures, some records for this time of year. 32 degrees is our warmest, was our record high on this day back in 1988, and our record coldest day was -5 back in 2002. As we take a look at the satellite radar map, as you can see, all that cloud coverage and precipitation is going to start making its way over to us very, very shortly. Of course, we are going to be getting we are expected some rain into the later part of tomorrow for those that are going out for that weekend, as well as maybe even some thunder showers as well to match with that, but we'll showcase a little bit of that later just in a little bit here. But 20 degrees in Cold Lake in Edmonton right now, 17 in Athabasca, 15 degrees in Red Deer, 13 degrees in Rocky Mountain House, 14 for Jasper and Edson. Over in Saskatchewan, 23 degrees currently right now in Meadow Lake, along with Prince Albert and Melfort, 24 degrees in Saskatoon, and 22 degrees in North Battleford. As we take a look at a little in-depth look to the regional temperatures tomorrow overnight in North Battleford with some cloudy skies, warming up to 23 degrees tomorrow with mostly sun and a few clouds tomorrow. They're not going to get hit with the rain, but we will, as well as Cold Lake sitting at 11 degrees overnight with cloud coverage and expecting showers tomorrow with a daytime high of 17 degrees. So for us here, 10 degrees overnight and 21 degrees tomorrow for the daytime high, where we could possibly see, we have a 61% chance of some showers coming tomorrow, which could come later on into the day. So here's the next 3 days. 18 degrees on Saturday, though, where it should be a little bit sunnier. A few clouds, though, with a 40% chance, though, we could see some rain again. And 16 degrees on Sunday, where it's going to be mostly clear with a few clouds, the low there of 3 degrees. But that's a look at your weather. We'll have more primetime local news coming up after the break.
Welcome back. Well, she's back in the saddle for another year. This week's Ag Report, Gerard Lampow meets a horse lover who wants riders to learn about safety from a young age.
So when you're working with livestock,
horses stand up when they sleep.
10-year-old Tice Huden is learning about horse safety and that riding horses can be fun.
You want to touch them like on their shoulder, by their leg, and their belly, because they don't like it when they pet their head.
Lifelong horse lover Kathy Dunsmore is back to riding following an accident last year. She talks about safety firsthand.
I had my little scooter last year, and now I've been back to riding since probably last June or July. I really like the animals. I'm not scared of them. It was an accident, but I am more proactive about being safe.
Dunsmore makes the case for fitted clothing.
We were out riding in our yard, and we had winter bulky jackets, and a girl went to get off, and her jacket hooked on the horn.
Dunsmore describes that incident as a disaster, but it's important to get the message over to young riders.
You don't want to wear bulky like sweaters and stuff, or else it'll get caught on the saddle and then you'll be getting dragged by the horse.
This is really scary, and they keep running until that saddle is off. Like nice tight fitting jackets, pants, not shorts, good shoes. If the stirrups are too big, don't use them. Make sure you got a quick getaway.
It's important to know how horses see the world.
There's a triangle behind them and a triangle in front of them that they can't see. They use their ears and their eyes as a reactor, so you're always watching what they're doing. If their ears are both forward, they're looking that way. If one ear's forward and one ear's back, they're looking one eye forward and one eye back.
Dunsmore is back to doing what she loves and doing it safely.
I truly believe that there needs to be lots of great horses out there, so I try and train them and then try and train the people to be good people around horses.
Gerard Lampow, Primetime Local News.
This Ag Report is brought to you by the Lloydminster Co-op Agro Center. Depend on them for product, tools, and expert advice. Shop at your local Lloyd Co-op Agro Center with branch locations in Lashburn and Neilburg.
That's all for egg. Sports is next, but first, here's a look at your egg prices.
Every member of the City Centre Auto Body team has been through extensive training. We're constantly upgrading our team's education to reflect current collision repair technique.
The CPCA season begins next week, and the field is expected to get even tighter than the historic 2018 Tour. For Chance Bensmiller, he hopes for one of the most memorable years of his life leads to even greater success on the track. Josh Ryan has more.
Waiting for the start of chuck wagon season has drivers hard at work and giddy to race.
Just hooking these horses, seeing what they're like, you know, are they going to be mad? Are they going to be happy? Are they going to go, not go? I mean, it's a great feeling that you can't get anywhere else.
Chance Bensmiller had his best season in the wagon box last year, sitting third for almost the entire summer until a rough showing at the CPCA finals left him just outside the dash.
It's nobody's fault but my own. The horses did exactly what I wanted them to, and just me, I wasn't prepared mentally, I guess you could say, and I missed my opportunities when they were there. So nothing really crazy changing this year. A couple new horses, you know, try a little bit of this, try a little bit of that, and hopefully at the end of the year it ends off perfect.
In addition to lessons learned on the track, Bensmiller has more perspective on life after becoming both a husband and a father.
I can be pretty blunt when I say you got to grow up real fast when you have kids. So, you know, meeting Carly was probably the best thing in my life, and she helped me out in a lot of aspects, and my wagon career has definitely changed because of it.
Getting new horses acclimated to the returning crew will be one of the biggest challenges.
It's no different than a hockey team. If they don't like their line mates, they're not going to perform. So hopefully I can fit them in where they need to be, and hopefully it shows on the racetrack.
And that will help determine consistency in a field full of drivers gunning for that prize truck.
One night you can be Damien, and the next night you can be 30th. So at the end of the day, you got to make sure you have confidence in your horses, confidence in yourself, and you know, spring training's a big thing, your feed, all that. But at the end of the day, if your horses and you gel together, that's all that matters.
Josh Ryan, Primetime Local Sports.
And now we're going to Eric Bay, who was on location today.
back here once again talking about Monster Pro Wrestling, which is holding an event here tomorrow night at Rolling Greens Fairway, and I'm joined again by Garrett Tepper, and we've been talking a little bit about how you guys are already selling tickets pre-sale. So what's the response been like already from the community so far?
Yeah, so far there's some good buzz, some excitement. It's been quite a few years in between events. I believe the last one they had was 7 years ago at the college, and the response then was good. Now it's a whole new generation of people that can kind of watch wrestling from the grassroots. These people are looking for exposure and whatnot. Just starting their way out in wrestling, so it should be good.
And you mentioned it's been about 7 years since the last event to come out here. What are you kind of expecting, I guess, or what are you looking forward to from tomorrow, finally seeing them come back here to Lloydminster?
A lot of excitement, definitely entertaining. They're very interactive with the crowds and stuff like that. That's one thing I noticed about these grassroots type wrestling. It's just a lot of fun. And again, it's an all ages friendly kid show, and should be a lot of fun.
And we've talked a little bit about the response so far from people. You mentioned it's all ages, a kid-friendly show. What do you expect for the response from people for tomorrow night at the actual event?
You know what? Action-packed for sure. I know there's a lumberjack match, which is 3 combatants for a title. Okay, there's a provincial title, heavyweight title is on the line as well, and the women's championship is also going to be on the line tomorrow night as well.
All right, perfect. And once again, if people are looking to head out, how can they get some tickets and go out and enjoy the event tomorrow?
3 ways. You can either come here to the Fight Farm, Grinding Gears, and at the door as well.
All right, perfect. We're going to have a little bit more coming back from here, talking again about Monster Pro Wrestling. They're holding an event for the first time here in a few years, coming to Lloydminster for some more wrestling. So we're going to have a little bit more coming back from here about that, and again, different ways that you can attend. But first, we're going to go back into the studio.
All right, thanks very much, Eric. Take a look at current temperatures once again here. 21 degrees for us here in Lloydminster, as well as out in Marwayne. 20 degrees in Cold Lake, Bonnyville, and Pierceland. 16 degrees in Lac La Biche. 19 for St. Paul. 22 in Vermilion, Wainwright, and Provost. 20 also out in Vegreville and Edmonton as well. 23 degrees in Macklin. 22 degrees in Maidstone and North Battleford. Meadow Lake sitting at 22 degrees as well. Green Lake sitting at 21. 15 degrees in Isle La Crosse, and 20 degrees currently right now in St. Walburg. Some other Saskatchewan temperatures. La Loche sitting at 16 degrees along with Buffalo Narrows there. La Ronge sitting at 20. Flin Flon sitting at 15 degrees. South End sitting at 7.4 in Wollaston Lake. Stony Rapids sitting at 12 and Uranium City sitting at 13 degrees. Fort McMurray 14 degrees. 20 degrees out in Peace River. 16 for Grand Prairie and 17 degrees in Slave Lake. In southern Alberta, 23 degrees in Medicine Hat. 21 in Lethbridge. 19 in Calgary and 17 degrees in Banff. 23 degrees out in Kindersley right now in southern Saskatchewan, 20 degrees in Swift Currents, 23 also out in Moose Jaw, 21 in Regina and Estevan as well, 22 degrees in Yorkton. As we take a look at the temperatures for tomorrow, we are going to expect that 61% chance of some rain. That's not going to come really until the evening part. So as we take a look at some regional temperatures though for tomorrow, 21 degrees will be our daytime high here in Lloydminster, 21 also out in Maidstone tomorrow, 18 tomorrow for St. Walburg and Meadow Lake, 19 in Green Lake, 16 for Isle La Crosse, 23 for North Battleford, 22 degrees for Macklin tomorrow, 21 for Provost tomorrow, 20 degrees in Marwayne and Vermilion, 19 degrees for Wainwright, 18 in Vegreville as well as in Bonnyville, Lac La Biche. Pierceland sitting at 18 as well. Cold Lake sitting at 17 as well as in Edmonton. So if you take a look at the next 48 hours is a little precipitation map here. So of course Friday morning we won't really see much as that little green blob which indicates rain. It won't come until that later parts, and then there will still be parts in that general area that will carry over into the later parts of the evening, and by Saturday we should just get back to the normal cloud coverage. And as we take a look at the school day forecast though for tomorrow, 13 degrees tomorrow at 8 a.m. there, so some cloudy skies throughout most of the day until the home time at 21 degrees, so 16 at recess, 19 degrees at lunchtime there, and 21 like I mentioned for the daytime high tomorrow. So here is the next 7 days. Like I said, possibility of a thunder shower tomorrow for Friday evening, 18 degrees on Saturday where it gets a little sunnier but still some cloud coverage, the high 18, but also a 40% chance we could see some rain. 16 degrees for the daytime high on Sunday with much clearer skies and a few clouds. A little cloudier on Monday with a high at 22. 20 on Tuesday with some cloud and sun mix there. 14 degrees, it goes a little cooler on Wednesday, but it should be a little bit more clear, and then goes back to 20 degrees on Thursday. That Wednesday, though, we could see winds pick up a little bit more, closer to 30 kilometers an hour there. But that's a look at your 7-day forecast. We'll have more primetime local news coming up after the break.
And now we're going to Eric Bay, who is on location today.
Back here once again, and we're talking about Monster Pro Wrestling. They will be holding their first wrestling event here in the city of Lloydminster. That'll be going on tomorrow night at Rolling Green Fairways, and I'm joined once again by Garrett Tepper, and we've been talking, like I just mentioned, is their first event, but are there any plans to maybe come back here eventually?
Yeah, absolutely. Again, this kind of being a trial, but already the response has been really good. There's some hype, some buzz, so planning maybe 2-3 times a year.
All right, perfect. That'd be exciting. And now we also talked a little bit about Mitch Clark, who actually works here at your gym and has transitioned from UFC into wrestling. So can you maybe talk about, again, a little bit about a guy you work with and how he's kind of made that transition?
Yeah, absolutely. He so again, his background is in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, black belt, also UFC fighter, trained with some pretty high-level people, very high-level people actually. But he's always had a passion for wrestling, for the pro wrestling, and opportunity knocked, and he was invited for tryouts and to train with them and stuff, and so he still competes actively in jiu-jitsu and wrestling, and now also with the pro wrestling. So kind of ties everything into one love.
Multiple different disciplines are pretty impressive, and now he's also going to be fighting here tomorrow night, as we've mentioned. What match will he be fighting in, and what can we expect from him tomorrow?
So he's in the main event. He's fighting a guy by the name of Nasty Nate Nixon. So yeah, it should be fairly interesting. Pretty big guy, quite a bit larger actually than Mitch, but I think for a guy like Mitch, shouldn't be too much of a problem. So.
Perfect, hometown boy. And now again, if people do want to check out and see Mitch Clark, how can they get down there tomorrow, and what time does the event start?
The event starts at 6:30. The event starts at 7:30. The doors open at 6:30. Tickets available here and Grinding Gears, and you can also purchase tickets at the door.
All right, perfect. Thank you so much for joining us once again. We're going to have a little bit more coming back from here about the Monster Pro Wrestling event that is going on tomorrow night. But first, we will go back into the studio.
All right, so our question of the day today, it's a little bit of a thinker. I know kind of some people were kind of, when they saw it, they were kind of trying to think about it for a second there. So the question was, would you rather regret doing something or regret not doing it? There's a few answers. I just want to kind of read, a lot of people are saying, you only live once. It's kind of true. Some people have that mentality, you only live once, just go out and live life with no regrets. As well as, I'd rather try and fail than not try at all. And then, of course, some others were saying, I'd rather try than regret not doing it, as well as it depends on the situation as well. It depends on if it's something that affects you probably long term compared to something that, it's not the end of the world. I mean, with my mindset, the way I think, I always overthink it. I think by thinking that everything is going to be not okay and regret a lot of things. But I mean, for yourself, I know we kind of countered in the first hour that, we're kind of like the polar opposites in terms of that.
Well, yeah, because, obviously you go through life and you do make decisions that you shouldn't have done, and you go back and think, oh, I shouldn't have, chose to do that. But there's no point in dwelling on it and regretting it, because you can't go back in time. As much as you probably want to, you can't go back in time and change it. It's happened, it's done, so now you just have to move on from it and never make the same mistake again.
Yeah, and I think for some people as well, like myself, it's like maybe, like I said, the smaller things, maybe like I regret learning, it's like I regret kind of maybe not doing enough with like some things like in school kind of thing, like I regret not taking that, like I regret not doing the drama play, for example, but I was not allowed to do that. Yeah. Or, what I just kind of thought of was kind of funny, that scene from We're the Millers when he writes, no regret.
Yes, yeah.
No, R-A-G. It's R-E-G, not R-A-G. Well, let's say it's time for that part of the show where we get to take a look at your pets, because we can always enjoy pets. And then, so this is Storm.
Adorable. Love how he's just sprawled out.
Having a nap there.
Yeah.
This is Bowie.
Beautiful.
Like
beautiful eyes.
I was going to say after David Bowie,
yeah,
there for sure. Next up, we have Dobby.
I love everything going on in this photo.
I know. It's the ears, the vest, the bike.
The name, it fits all of it.
Absolutely. This is Janet.
Classic cat in the sink.
Love it.
Yeah.
And this is Coda.
I love when dogs or cats or even any animal are wearing people clothes, especially ties. Yeah. Just adorable.
Absolutely. Well, if your pet was shown on today, you're automatically entered to win a Lloydminster Pet Pad gift card.
We want to see your pets. Send photos of your pet and their name to our Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram to have them featured on Pet of the Day. Your name will be entered into a weekly draw for a gift certificate from the Pet Pad.
We have a familiar face joining us tonight on Primetime Local News. It's our friend Rufy is back. Rufy, thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
And this is so exciting. We talked about it before, but tell us again the competition that you're headed to in July.
In July, I'm going to a World Championships of Performing Arts competition, which is a international competition held around the world every year. And this year, I'm competing against 73 countries, and I will be representing Canada with my Canada team. And yeah.
And where is the competition?
It will be held in Long Beach, California this July.
Okay, and in the meantime, you need to do some fundraisers to help you get there. So one of them is tomorrow night, and it's in Lloydminster. So tell me a little bit about what's planned for that.
So tomorrow I'm having a fundraising concert at the First Baptist Church of Lloydminster, and doors open at 5 and the show starts at 6 and it will go up to 9 o'clock. Yeah.
Okay, and what can people expect at the concert?
A lot of performing, I guess, yeah. And
you have some friends that are going to be performing with you?
I've invited some guests and some talents from Lloydminster as well to open, and some of the guests are actually singing with me tomorrow.
So how difficult was it to get to this competition? Did you have to do, was there a lot of work when you were trying to get up to compete in it? You know, a lot of practicing and that sort of thing?
I actually had been discovered by a producer in 2013, and we've lost contact for about 2 years, and he came back and found me, and when he found me, I had to do a concert to see how I was like on stage. And then after that concert, I actually had to go through multiple screening processes and auditions before I could actually get into the competition.
Now, when it comes to the competition, what's at stake? What does the winner get? And even if you don't end up winning the competition, who's down there watching that can help you make connections?
So in the competition, actually, people from the industry come and watch. Actually, some of the judges are already big influencers that are really, they have a big impact on the social media right now. So if I do win, there will be lots of prizes and the exposure as a whole. And if I don't win, it's the exposure that like a label could look at me and like me, and then they could potentially take me as one of their acts or singers.
So after the concert tomorrow night, then what happens up until the competition? Is it just practice, practice, practice?
No, I actually have multiple events. I have a red carpet event in Edmonton and other events around Alberta and Canada, I guess, if you could say, that will help me expose myself and help me just show everyone that I'm in the competition, and I'm gonna need some help that I can get.
Okay, Rufy, and once again, let's tell me about the show tomorrow. So where it is, what time it starts, and how much it is to get in.
So my concert tomorrow is at the First Baptist Church of Lloydminster. It starts at 6 o'clock, but the doors are open at 5 for everyone, and it goes up until 9 o'clock, and the tickets will be sold for $20 each.
Okay, and you guys have been nice enough to give us some tickets to give away, so we'll give away a pair of tickets, and all of the viewers have to do, you can just email TV News, or TV-News rather, at stingray.com, and the first people to email us will get a pair of the tickets to Rufy's show tomorrow. So thank you so much for joining us, and we wish you the best of luck, and we'll be chatting with you as you go through this journey and when we watch you win the competition.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for joining us.
You've still got an opportunity to check out the Youth Art Show that's underway right now at the Lloydminster Cultural and Science Centre. They say this is the most colorful show they've ever had, and if you come down this evening before 8:30, you can take part in the closing reception, so it's an opportunity to see the show, meet some of the artists, and play the different block party games as well. The show will continue tomorrow and Saturday too, right here at the Lloydminster Cultural and Science Centre. You've got an opportunity to start your weekend with laughter. Coming to Lloydminster tomorrow night, Ron James will be in town. It's his full throttle tour, and he's going to be on stage at the Vic Juba Community Theatre. And this guy has been in the business for years, and he says he's not shy about poking fun at even himself. So you're going to have a really great night out tomorrow night. You can still get tickets by stopping by the Vic Juba Community Theatre. You can also go online, vicjubatheatre.ca. Summer has unofficially arrived, but we want to make sure you're ready for summer with some summer music. We want you to win a copy of the latest album from 5 Seconds of Summer. It's their album Young Blood, and it includes that hit title track and also Lie to Me. If you want to win a copy, it's really easy. All you have to do is email your name and daytime phone number to tv-contest@stingray.com. We want to say thanks to John at Universal Music Canada for setting us up with the music. And coming up next week, you've got an opportunity to have a fun night out with great food and great local entertainment with the Lions Club of Lloydminster as they raise funds for the Lloydminster Region Health Foundation. To get your tickets for next week's event, just get in touch with any member of the Lions Club. Well, whatever you choose to do this weekend, I hope you have a great one. I'm Heather Klegus, and that's what's happening.
Furniture supplied by Furniture Gallery and Furniture House, downtown Lloydminster.
Today, I am joined here with Cindy, who is the manager of programs and events for the city, and we are going to be talking about different ways that children can get involved and stay active this summer through summer camps, through different events that the city will be putting on. And thank you for joining me today and talking a little bit about this. So can we start by just explaining like the different summer camps and different retreats that kids can get involved with this summer?
Absolutely. We offer summer fun camps all throughout the summer. For kids age anywhere from 4 to 11. We offer 8 weeks of camp, and it's the Summer Fun Camp presented by the Tooth Suite Family Dentistry.
And what sort of things will kids expect to be doing if they decide to join the camps?
We have 8 different weeks that are planned, and they each have a different theme. So depending on the theme, the activities will be based around that theme. We have, they'll be doing crafts, they'll be doing science experiments, they'll be doing swimming, they'll be playing games, just a wide variety of kids' activities. They'll be inside, they'll be outside, depending on the weather, but it'll just be a fun day filled with activity.
And how can parents register their kids, or what's that process?
The parents can go to the city website, and all the information is on lloydminster.ca/guides, and the information is on there about each week, each different theme. We have aftercare, we have before care, so kids can, or parents can, if they're working a full day, they can enter their kids into childcare before or after, and you can find all the information on there and register online, or you can come to any of our facilities. You can come to the Service Sports Centre, BioClean Aquatic Centre, and the Lloydminster Cultural and Science Centre and register there.
And are there different camps for different age groups, or is it just a mixture of different ages for all together?
We have 4 different age groups that we offer. We have 4 to 5-year-olds, 6 to 7-year-olds, 8 to 9-year-olds, and 10 to 11-year-olds. So kids will be put into the age group of kids that are similar age, and they'll be doing age-appropriate activities.
Okay, and so for kids who are how does the different activities differ from 5 to 6-year-olds to being older, like 10 to 12?
They'll be around the same theme, but it'll just be, if it's a craft, it might be just more complex for the older kids, or the games might be more complex or more challenging, more competitive for the older kids versus the younger kids, and yeah.
And what, when does it run, start running from till when does it end?
So we have on June 28th, we have our summer kickoff at the Service Sports Centre. So that's just a one-day sneak a peek. Come try out our program. You can register for that. Then we have weekly camps starting at the Service Sports Centre. After that, we have Space Quest and Spy Kids Camp for the first 2 weeks in July. And then we have Adventure Seekers, Survivor Island Camp, and Slimy Splish Splash out at Bud Miller and the BioClean Aquatic Centre. So when you're out at Bud, they'll get to go into the pool as well. And then we end our summer at the Lloydminster Cultural and Science Centre with Mad Sciences, Time Traveler, and Outrageous. So we have a wide variety of themes, and they can pick depending on what their interests are.
That's perfect. And there are many events going on that are kid-friendly, family-friendly. Would you like to explain just what they are and how people can get involved with that?
Absolutely. You can go to our website to find information on all our events. We have 4 major events coming up in the spring and summer. Our first one is the Pet Expo that is brought to us by the Pet Pad, and it's happening June 8th and 9th at the Service Sports Centre. So that's going to be a new exciting event. People can come down, and there's a dog show going on. There's exhibitors with that are selling pet products. There's bouncy houses, there's dock diving, so it's going to be really exciting. Then we have on Saturday, June 22nd, we have Street Fest brought to you by Century 21 Drive. So that's downtown Lloydminster. It's going to be, we've got a stage, we have vendors, we have kids games, there's lots of things to do, and I'm really excited about that event. And then our annual Canada Day that's happening at Bud Miller Park, that's presented by MNP, and it's a fun day of activities at Bud, and at the end of the day it will be fireworks starting at 11 o'clock. So that wraps up June, July, and then August long weekend, which is on Monday, August 5th, we are hosting Heritage Day, brought to you by Lloydminster District Co-op, and it is out at the Lloydminster Cultural and Science Centre in Weaver Park. So it's a fun day of family activities as well. So there's lots to do.
Perfect. Well, thank you again for joining me. And if you'd like to get your kids out this summer to do multiple different activities, just head over to the Lloydminster City website, and you'll find all the details on how to register and the different events that are coming up. So thank you so much for joining me.
Well, today we've been talking with Garrett here at the Fight Farm about Monster Pro Wrestling. They're going to be holding their first event in Lloydminster here tomorrow night at Rolling Greens Fairway, as you can see over my shoulder here. We've been talking a little bit about what to expect coming up. They do feature local content with Mitch Clark, who's gone from UFC, and will also be doing some wrestling here tomorrow in the fights. And again, they're having 3 different championship belts, so it should be a fairly impressive evening. Now, this is Monster Pro Wrestling's first event here in Lloydminster, but they are hoping of expanding and doing maybe 2 or 3 events coming up here in a year. But again, if you are wanting to come out and check out, you can get tickets pre-sale at a few different locations, including here at the Fight Farm. And again, if you want to make sure you get in, again, come out at 6:30 and again, pick your good seats. So that's all from us here tonight. We're going to go back into the studio where Connor and Abby will wrap up tonight's news.
All right, thanks very much, Eric. Taking a look at your 7-day forecast one last time here. 21 tomorrow for our daytime high. That's 61% chance of some thunder showers that'll come maybe possibly later on into the evening, into the early parts of Saturday morning. 18 degrees for Saturday with still a 40% chance we could see some rain there. So clear with a sunny and cloudy day there. So 16 on Sunday where it should be more clearer with a few clouds there. 22 on Monday where it'll be more cloudier with some sun there. 20 on Tuesday where it'll be the same results from Monday there. 14 on Wednesday where it should clear up a little bit more with mostly sunny and a few clouds, and the same results heading into Thursday. The high there at 20 where it'll get a little bit warmer than Wednesday. The Wednesday though, it will pick up a little bit with the wind though reaching possibly close to the 30-kilometer-an-hour mark. So the averages for this time of year usually we're around the 18-degree mark for the daytime high, and then usually we're around the 5-degree mark for the daytime lows. We're still right in that ballpark for temperature rise. I mean, there's still some sun out there. Of course, now that the sun goes down a lot later, it feels like, it doesn't feel like later, because when we were out a little bit later on at 9 o'clock, there still was a decent amount of sun until like maybe quarter after. So. Oh yeah, definitely. And I'm excited for the first thunder shower. So that's going to be interesting. Yeah, hopefully we'll see if it happens though. But that's going to do it for us here tonight, everybody. Thanks for watching. Have yourselves a great night.